Hey ladies, I wanted to share something, and I'm sorry about the weird wonky glare. It's that blue whatever they have on my glasses. That's so annoying. Anyways, um, never mind. There we go. I'll just look like this. Anyways, so some of y'all know the story. I think Tia might. I don't know how much I've shared with anyone, but I was when I used to volunteer for Switch, and I was one of the small group leaders. I'd started out with a group of girls. I think when they very first started deciding to do small groups, they did this whole goofy thing but God knew what he's doing. Where like we found out like who our girls were gonna be, like things like we questions, and then anyways, I was 8th grade girls. And on that, I ended up with 2 girls that were sisters. One was actually 7th grade, but she wasn't going to leave her sister's side, which is fine. I ended up with a lot of girls from Lyrewood Lane, and most of y'all know Lyrewood Lane is really rough. And I think I've told you all that before. I get kids home afterwards. And anyways, the 2 girls were Shabri and Shikari, and I got real close to, and I quickly realized that they kind of had a rough life. Their mom at the time was in a relationship with a drug dealer. Their dad was dating this lady named Kylie, or I say dating because he never came home. Meantime, he was shacking up with another woman that got her pregnant, and while he left all of his children with Kylie. It was a rough situation. Kylie worked. She worked a lot, but it was just her and her daughter, and then she kind of got abandoned with 6 kids because there were 3 girls and then 3 sons that were younger. And anyways, she was struggling, and we used to help them out a lot. So in that, I would pick up the 3 girls for church. Shikari, Shabria, and then their younger sister, Trinity, who also was old enough to go to Switch. So they would stay the night with us a lot. We would make sure that they had Christmas. We had got them a phone to share in case they ever needed to reach us for anything. It was just kind of like a pay-as-you-go phone, but they kind of kept it hidden. I just want to make sure that they had something in case they ever needed help. They ended up having to go back to their dad's. A bunch of stuff came out. Kylie was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to move out of state. He had to come get them. And their life just was rough. It wasn't good. But I would pick them up for school. So the woman that their dad was shacked up with, that he had had another child with, had a son named Gabriel. So we would take 2 cars to church. I would go pick the kids up, and then Steve and the boys would take his car. And so I was able to get 3 girls and Gabriel. And Gabriel ended up living with us for a couple of years. He's who I've talked about. He's our bonus son. And anyways, so Gabriel lived with us for a few years, his senior year and a year or so after that. Through all this, the youngest girl, Trinity, was in 8th grade. And she was always the one that they all needed love, but she really kind of she just struggled a lot. Love her dearly. So in 8th grade, she got online and started talking to a man who groomed her. And on Wednesdays, she'd leave Hefner Middle School and walk up to the church. And they got out earlier than high school and stuff, so she would get there supposedly before her sisters, where they would let them hang out in the parking lot, play basketball, come in and serve if, get things ready, whatever. Well, because they got out and she was able to get there an hour earlier than her sisters would, she started talking to this man. He started grooming her, and before know it, he would pick her up right after school. She'd walk out of the school, get in a car with him, and begin a sexual relationship with her. She was 13. She was in 8th grade. And then drop her off somewhere where she could still get to the church, in time, kind of when her sisters would be showing up. So no one really knew. Well, her switch leader, talked to her a lot, and she just started feeling really bad and guilty. So she relayed this information to her switch leader. Of course, they had to turn it in. They had to file a police report, called her father. Well, her father wouldn't allow charges to be pressed. Instead, he punished her by not letting her come to church. And that's how he would punish the kids, That's all he had to take from him. All they wanted to do was go to church. Meantime, he got in trouble. They couldn't go to church. So he took her out of church. He took her away from this man that she thought she was in love with. Mind you, he's a married man with a 6-7-year-old daughter and was in the military. It was really sad. So he had groomed her and brainwashed her. She thought she loved him. She thought that he loved her, that he was going to leave his wife and child for her. I mean, this is like a 37-year-old man. She's a 13-year-old girl that come from a very broken home. Well, her dad takes her out of church. Instead of pressing charges, he just blackmails the man for money. Meanwhile, you have this 13-year-old child who is hurting, who's devastated, who's been sexually assaulted, who's been groomed, and then gets taken away from church. And it was really hard. And she got mad at the church. She felt like she didn't realize that her dad played a big part in her not being able to come. She blamed the leader and Josh and stuff at that time because she was in love with this man. And this was the only thing that made her happy. This is really sad. Man ends up leaving, changing bases, moving to Texas, and besides giving some money, nothing ever happened. No, nothing. He was just a pedophile. He's a pedophile who got away with it and has a young daughter of his own. It's really sad. So, I don't think his wife ever knew what happened. Nothing. And so, instead, her dad made money off of her being sexually assaulted by an older man. And this is disgusting. Through all this, she got very angry. Very, very, very angry. She got mad at me. I don't know why, because I didn't actually play a part in that. She had told me at one point that she was going and making out and having sex with this boy, which she wasn't. It was just see what kind of reaction she get. I mean, I told Switch, and so we had to get her dad involved at that time, but that was before all that happened. So she was always kind of mad at me about that, but I had to protect her. So through all this, she turned her back on God. She became an atheist. She did not believe in God, nothing. And we still talk. I still talk to all the girls. I still talk to Gabriel. Like, they're in my life. Like, we talk. And so every now and then she'll reach out to me. And one day she messaged me and told me how much she loved me and how thankful she was for me. And now as a mom, and she has 2 kids, she understands that some of the tough love I showed her was out of love. And that if it wouldn't have been for me, that and my family and Steve and the boys, that she probably would have killed herself. And so anyways, sorry, emotional on that. I know, like, I've been talking a lot about us finding a new church, and this all kind of ties together. And every weekend I get frustrated, and sometimes I just have to trust God, because sometimes I do think He's sending us somewhere else. He does. He is, and I know that for a fact. But sometimes in the waiting, while He's working on Steve, He still is God and does God things and blesses us, you know. And this is why I feel about this right now. So she just reached out to me, and she asked me if I was going to Life Church tomorrow. If I still going to Life Church. I said, yeah, occasionally. Sometimes we mix it up and try other churches or whatever. And I said, but yeah, we do still go there sometimes. She said, Jimmy, I really want to go to church. I really want to go to Life Church. I was just wondering if someone I knew was going to be there. I said, I will be there tomorrow. Yes, I will go there. Like, if this is where she needs to start, because this girl does not believe in God, or hasn't believed in God. She's been very open about it. I've kind of noticed a little bit of a change in her, like this last year, where she doesn't claim her anti-God beliefs. But so tomorrow she's going to the 10 o'clock service, and even though that may not be the church for us anymore, we still haven't found a new one. And while Steve's dragging his rear, God is still using that church and still using it for her. And I think it is a good place for her to start back with her kids. And maybe that'll get her to going. And then if we find a new place, well, obviously she can follow us there. So anyways, I just wanted to tell you that. I know this is kind of long. I didn't know how else to do it. I was typing it and it just kept going on and on and on and on. And man, God is good. I hope y'all take the time to watch this. I'm so sorry it's so long. But God is so good, guys. And even in the waiting, he's still working. Even in my frustrations and my frustrations with my husband just to get on board with things, or just to get over having to drive a few more minutes than we normally do, God is still going to show me blessings in the waiting. And so I just want to share with y'all. And man, I do feel like it's a good time for her to come back to life. Number one, I know it's a seeker church, but I have noticed, and me and Casey talked about this, a lot of changes in Craig Groeschel, and it has a lot of his messages have become a lot more gospel oriented. And so I hope that she'll see that and respond to that, and her children are now hopefully can be brought up in church, because they haven't yet. So anyways, I love you ladies. Thanks for listening to me and watch me try not to cry. Bye.